Hello, everyone. We're going to do another deck tech here. And I say another because we just finished doing a deck tech on my deck. So nobody has played this deck ever at all. It's a Garrison original. He came up with it.
That I copy-pasted.
We figured it was such a cool deck, an original deck, that we had to do a deck tech because nobody could possibly know how this thing works.
I don't think there's any way that anybody has this exact same 60.
Nope. And you say 60 because it's actually just 60. There's no 15 card sideboard.
Correct.
So, take it away, Garrison. Let's talk about the cards.
So, I guess he's throws it over to me because he doesn't know. Lands. Alright, I don't even know which pathway. Needleverge pathway? It's the red-white land.
Yep.
I guess the thing to note is that originally the deck had all scries.
What are you talking about? This is an original deck.
Yes, the original.
Oh, so this is version 2.0 because it's
Sure. So it originally had 4 different scry lands. So you're only ever casting anything on 3. Like you're a turn behind everything. So I took the list ahead and tweaked it just a little bit. So this originally was a Boros Scryland. It's a 4-of.
We don't need to talk about what it used to be because that's not what it is.
Sure. But I want the untapped land.
Yep.
So it's 4. 4 Temple of Abandon, 4 Temple of Epiphany, 4 Country of Triumph, 3 the World Tree, and then 1, what is it, Bark Channel Pathway?
And
I don't
know
my pathways.
Did you pick this one because it's foil?
It actually was the blue. It was the blue-green scry originally. It was one of it. And then I was like, oh, it's perfect. Like, I need to flip 1 land anyway. Might as well go with the full art foil, right?
All right, so I have no idea what this deck is trying to do. Would you explain?
Really?
Yeah, explain the combo.
I don't know how, but okay. So the point is, you get to 2 mana.
Okay.
And you cast a 0-drop. Yes, I see a 0-drop.
And you have to hit control to hold priority.
On Arena, you have to hit control to take.
Wait, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what this deck does.
Yeah. So what happens is you cast Stonecoil Serpent for X = 0 or a Tormod's Crypt, and then you hold priority, which a lot of people, I guess, don't understand how priority actually works, right?
So whenever you cast a spell, it's assumed that you're passing priority.
Correct.
But you can hold it. Active player gets priority before non-active.
Yeah, and you just need to announce the fact that you're holding priority. So it traditionally, is something along those. I'm going to cast Stonecoil Serpent for X = 0 and hold priority, and then that allows you to doesn't give your opponent a chance to respond. It allows you to cast. Yeah. Correct.
They will be able to respond
once you pass priority.
Right.
So you hold priority casting these spells, and then immediately cast Tibalt's Trickery, 2 mana counter spell in red.
But it does something else.
It does a lot of things, actually. So it counters the spell. Choose 1, 2, or 3 at random. Its controller mills that many cards, and then exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card with a different name than that spell, which is the spell being countered.
So if you cast Stonecoil Serpent and counter it, you can't hit Stonecoil Serpent.
You can still hit
Tormod's Crypt.
Yep.
And then the vice versa.
Correct. And then they may cast that card without paying its mana cost, and then they put the exiled cards on the bottom of their library. So you have these, and this is the basis of the deck here, right? This is the engine that starts the combo.
Now,
and then you have all this
If you don't
stuff.
have all these cards, you could actually just play 4 of these, 4 of these, and 4 bombs.
Yeah.
And on Arena, you can actually just play 4 of these,
and 2 of these,
1 of these, 2 of these, and 1 bomb. And
you'll
hit the bomb every time.
Yeah.
We actually tried to test what happens when you hit Trickery with Trickery. And we had to play like 6 games.
Because we couldn't hit Trickery with Trickery because we kept hitting the one Ugin. And then we ended up just going...
Cut the
Ugin. Literally just make it Trickery. And see with the interaction with Arena actually how it plays out and stuff.
So you can hit it and you can cast it and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, because there's no actual target because the first Trickery is actually resolved.
And the first spell is countered.
The first spell is countered, because the spell Trickery has to resolve for you to be able to.
Yep. And this is a May ability, so what you are probably going to do is just put the Trickery on the bottom.
Yep. I did hit like a Tormod's Crypt.
Of course.
Countered a Stonecoil Serpent today.
Yeah.
And hit a Tormod's Crypt, and I was like, I'll play Tormod's Crypt. There's
28 other cards I can hit.
Correct.
And I hit those.
And that's the thing. right. So the thing to note is that somebody tonight asked me, they're like, well, I want somebody to play, and they're like, you don't want a massive amount of these spells, these other things to hit. You want to select one or two, and then you want to fill your deck with lands so you consistently play the lands, and the concept's actually the opposite, right?
Yeah.
So
if you have, let's say you have 4 bombs and 4 Stonecoil Serpents and 3 more electric, well, I guess it'd be 3 of these in your deck, 3 of these in your deck, and 4.
Right.
So you can hit any of those 3 and cast it, or you can hit any of those 4. So 3 out of your 7 cards
right
are things that don't do anything.
Right. The problem and the issue you get to when you take this down is the fact that percentage that you're going to hit a card that you actually can hit and not cast or not do anything with, it's not impactful, goes up so high that you need such a high volume of bombs to hit. And that's kind of the hard part about it, right? Because then you also have to weigh out, well, what if this doesn't work?
Yeah, how can I win a game?
Yeah, can I actually win a game? I'm not playing the game to actually win the rest of the game if this combo doesn't work.
Right.
I'm playing just strictly the glass cannon version. So I guess we go for bombs is 3 Asika God of the Tree.
Yep. So in a pinch, you could play the front side of the card.
Correct. It's a 1/4 with vigilance that adds a mana of any color.
The mana is the important part.
I was gonna say the mana is the extremely important part in this port because the next card is Dream Trawler.
You have 4 sources of mana.
There's exactly 4 white sources unless you have a World Tree.
Yeah.
So with World Tree, mana's absolutely no issue because it produces every color, or your lands produce any color for you. But the double white in this deck, I've never cast Dream Trawler on those lands.
Yeah.
But the thing to note is that Asika on the backside of it is a bomb.
Gets you a card every turn.
Yeah, Asika itself is not the bomb that you're looking for with Trickery.
But the way it works currently, unless we see an errata to the rules,
correct, is that
it looks at Asika and says, okay, that's a card with a different name.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and cast it. But then when you cast it, you choose which
Since
side.
it's for free, so you actually just choose the Prismatic Bridge. I really like this artwork. Russ, like this I don't know. Like that artwork's just amazing to me.
Yeah.
So the point of that, Asika's not the bomb here. The Prismatic Bridge is the bomb because then it opens up other cards in your deck. Then you go to...
Obviously, Dream Trawler is a huge threat that's really hard for people to deal with.
Yeah, it has evasion of some sort, right? And that's why it's there. You're drawing extra cards, so you're potentially finding additional pieces to do this again. Turn Timber Symbiosis. Again, like people just look at it and they're like, oh, well, it's a land on the back. Like, I don't know. You could buy some other things. This digs 4 things.
And we'll also get to another interaction.
Yep. So, Turn Timber Symbiosis... And, like, people weren't thinking about things. So, what is it? Converted mana, CMC 3 or less. It enters the battlefield with an additional 3 +1/+1 counters on it. So, you're hitting the big creatures that are in the deck. But you also have a Asika and Stonecoil Serpent that you can hit. So, Stonecoil Serpent, sure, it's a 3/3. This becomes a 4/7 with Vigilance.
Yeah.
Which turns out it's still a clock. So there's things that you get to do there. And then, I guess, the next thing is Genesis Ultimatum.
I don't know if we need to talk about that.
No, I think...
Because people have been playing it for a minute.
It's good. The only interaction to notice, and it's come apparent with like me playing these versus Skylands for it, with Genesis Ultimatum, if you end up with these lands, you put them on the battlefield, you're not choosing which side they are. They're coming down as the front side of that land. So it's something to keep in mind if you need like the second white source. You can't put that on the battlefield. You need to put it in your hand. Yep. Emergent Ultimatum.
Yep.
This card's amazing.
Yeah.
And I
think a lot of people misinterpreted really what it does.
Correct.
Because you're thinking like it's in a 3-color deck.
What are you doing? Everything's multicolored, right?
And you have to grab monocolored cards, and then you look at it. You compare the black to the red version because they're both Simic.
Yep.
And like Genesis Ultimatum is just clearly better.
Right.
But there's kind of like a pseudo combo with this.
Yeah, and pseudo combo or just like good stuff? Is that what you're going?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really just good. So Emergent Ultimatum, you find 3 monocolored cards, and they choose one, tuck it back in. Doesn't actually matter, right? So you have 3 targets, I think is what I figured out earlier, right? So it's these 2 that throw me off.
I mean, I guess technically you could grab Tibalt.
Yeah, somebody said that earlier. You could just grab a Trickery and then counter the others. I'm like, why would you do that?
As if the other spell.
Yeah, you just don't, right? So you have these 3 targets. So you have Cure Best of Sea God, Turn Timber Symbiosis, and a Sika God of the Tree. Now, people won't realize is that they're like, oh, I don't want to give them the 8/8 Kraken. That's fine. I get to cast this. I get to cast this, and then I get to cast this.
Yep. This is just another card every turn. This is probably a creature.
Yep. So there's
you could whiff on that, but
yeah, and that so if you're playing against this, the right putback is a Sika. That's the card that gets tucked back.
Unless you have an answer for the enchantment immediately.
Sure. Okay, yep. But Turn Timber Symbiosis can potentially whiff. The one creature is probably easier to deal with than the creature every single turn that's probably going to end up into something else. Yeah, the hexproof. So Merge Ultimatum is great, and I actually would think I might
make a 1/1 swap.
Yeah, I might swap that to a 3/3 split.
I guess the problem. Well, it's not really a problem. If you draw multiples, then you just get the same 3 cards again.
Yeah.
So it's not even that big a deal.
Yeah. So I just think this is impactful, but this gives me almost guarantees me the threat every single time, right? I have had everybody's had ultimatums that just
you've
lands.
had them miss and yeah.
Yep. So then you have 4 Cure Best of Sea God. It's just great. It's a great card. Makes an 8/8 an 8/8 Kraken with hexproof when it comes down on chapter 1. Chapter 2 taps everything your opponent has, and worst case scenario
double taps, right?
It double taps. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yep. Worst case scenario on chapter 3 is you steal a land of theirs, which, as we've already said, is very relevant. The deck's mana hungry if you're not doing this actual thing here.
Yeah, if you have to start casting spells, you need 7 or 8 lands.
Yep.
And the color requirements.
And the color, yeah. So Cure Best of Sea God is just good. It's a good finisher. Tapping them out, being able to swing it is good. Next is 4 Coma. These are mine.
No, they're not.
I tried.
He's like, I need 4 Coma for this deck. And I was like, I just happen to open 4, and you just happen to open 0.
Yep.
Sure.
This card, I think.
This card is ridiculously good.
Dude, we'll get to the next card because everybody thinks that this is the all-star of the deck. This card is by far, absolutely 100% the card that you want to hit in this deck.
And the reason is, it's impossible to kill.
Yeah, so the spell can't be countered, right? The only way that they're dealing with this thing is the instant that Coma hits the battlefield, they have to kill it at that point, or they have to have an exile effect in their hand. And exile effects are getting harder to come by.
Yep.
So a 6/6, it's amazing.
Mind you, play it, and your next turn you're attacking for 9.
Yeah, and you have another 3/3
and you have a
back.
blocker.
Yeah. We have
or
2.
Something to
you
tap
have 2
down.
Technically, right? Because you're gonna have 1 then and their next turn.
Yeah.
You can tap down to get in through lethal. You can make it indestructible. This card is great. It is everything that this deck and any other Simic based deck, I guess, really wants in it.
And then we got this measly Planeswalker.
And then we got this measly
the Ugin's Fate version.
Yeah. You get this Eugene up here, which I'm going to argue is probably the least impactful card.
Yeah.
To hit.
So it's great in a control deck where you're hitting it on turn 8, 9, 10.
Yep.
And you've already controlled most of the stuff, and you just need a way to finish the game. On turn 2, it's a lightning bolt.
Yeah, and so every single time
on turn 2, you get 9/9 worth of power and toughness.
Right. This thing, I actually cast it. I hit it on 2 in a game, and on turn 4 I got removed.
Yeah.
So I ticked it up on my turn to go to 11, and then my opponent immediately
Swift End.
What's the other
Something.
one? Blood Chief's Thirst or whatever it is.
Chief's Thirst.
On their turn 4, and that was the end of my game. I lost.
Yep.
Because that was my hit. If it had been anything else other than the whiff, I probably would have been in that entire game.
So cut Ugin is what we're saying.
I'm not saying cut Ugin. It's still really good.
Yeah,
like,
it's just so when it's a deck of all bombs, it's just not the bombiest.
Yeah,
So-
and that's what I say is it's the least impactful if you're going for it on 2.
Yeah.
If you happen to have a second set of Trickery, this is probably the card that you want to hit at that point, unless you're so far behind and then it just doesn't matter.
And then if you look over here at the sideboard, you'll see none, because what do you want to take out and do? Like, and like I said, oh, counterspells will be good in that, and I was thinking about it, like, no, because you'll just hit them off Trickery every time.
Yeah, like what do you? So what do you take out because you need to keep your bomb threat so high? The density needs to be so high.
And what do you put in that you can not hit off of Trickery?
Yeah. Also, like, so the thing to think about really is it's like you're mulliganing so aggressively.
I guess that's
to
something
get into
we
Trickery
should
too.
mention too.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to go down to 3 or 4 cards.
Yep.
Just to find the combo.
And so I mulligan extremely aggressively tonight. Literally just trying to mulligan to have combo pieces.
Yeah, if you had 2 cards and they were Trickery, Stonecoil Serpent,
and one land didn't matter.
Not even the land.
No, if you have both pieces, you probably don't care. Yeah.
Yeah, you just keep it because you've got 20 lands you could draw. 3 of these, which would count as a land.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is find a red source, which all of them are red sources.
Yeah, everything
Except
produces
for that.
red except for this. The World Tree, yes, produces red when you get to 6.
Yeah.
But like it's there. And I guess the backside of that doesn't, but whatever.
So you have 23 lands, 16 of them tap for red immediately.
Yep.
Like, if you mulligan to 2, you keep Crypt or Serpent plus Trickery. And with the new mulligan rule, I guess it's not really new, but it's the newest. Like, you get to if you mulligan to 2, you've drawn what 5-7 card hands.
Yeah, something like
so
that.
you've looked
yeah.
at 35 cards in your deck
Yeah.
effectively. It's very likely you'll see both combo pieces, and then you just pitch 5 cards.
And so I was having a discussion with somebody else earlier too, and I think the correct way. So it's just like if you mulligan to 5 or to 4, and you have some number of Scrylands, be them 1, 2 Scrylands in your hand, and you see the Trickery, but you don't have this piece, you snap keep that.
Yeah, because you're more likely to draw one of them.
Correct. The opposite is if you draw one of these and you have a Scryland, you throw that back. The chance of you finding one of those 4 Trickeries before you die is so negligible. But like you
Yeah, it's
really
easier to
want-
find one of the 8 cards than one of
the
the
4 cards. Yeah.
by about a factor of 2.
Yeah, turns out math checks out. But I like the deck. It's very glass cannon.
So if it's not banned on Monday,
Which is there is potential for that to happen.
are you going to play it again?
Yes. I would play it again. I don't know that I would change anything.
You know what you could do?
What's that?
Put 15 basic lands in your sideboard, shuffle them in game 2, and then just go pull them all out. So people have no idea what you're sideboarding.
I could.
That'd
that
be
would be
funny.
pretty funny. And I should do like basic swamp because there's no black producing mana. And I guess that's something to note too. Emergent Ultimatum.
Without that, you can't cast
You can't cast Emergent Ultimatum without a World Tree.
But that's
so-
okay. You're just trying to combo and have fun.
Yeah, like this deck is so much fun. I know it's not very much fun for your opponent when they're playing because they're like, I don't get to do anything. This
I
is
foretold a
9-game
card. I'm dead.
Yeah, correct.
Nice.
But in the same instance, like I played a couple of games tonight, and people were just like, "Dude, I don't even care, like win or lose. Like I just want to see what this deck does. Like I want to see how it actually works."
Yeah, it's not like
And what
playing
you
against
can
Nexus
do-
of Fate because you're not going to sit there and drag it out for an hour.
No.
Like the games are over quick and you can just move on.
Yeah, and there's a thing to note is it's like if your combo gets countered and you have a land in hand and there's one, or 2 lands in the battlefield, whatever it is, like, and your next card is Ugin and then your next card is Kiora, go to the next game. Like,
Drag it out.
don't make your opponent suffer through
Especially when
that.
they just dirtle around for 15 turns trying to find a win con.
Yeah,
Luckily, that's not me right now. Though.
Yeah. So I guess if your opponent's doing that, sure, then it's miserable for both of you, and you have a potential to get a second combo piece, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, don't just have
If
fun.
you're playing
with
against
it.
Gruul aggro and you whiff on the combo, just go to the next game.
Yeah,
because you're dead anyways.
The deck's meant to just have fun with, really, right? Like, I don't know that this sits at the top of a tier. I
think it's really good in best of one though.
It is on Arena. It is great on best of one. A lot of people using this deck to actually grind out mythic rank.
Wait, people are using this deck on Arena?
Yeah.
How'd they get the list?
I don't know.
Because this is a Garrison original.
I posted it to Aether Hub.
Nice.
Today.
Yep.
But they were playing it last week, so they must have had ESPN or something.
All right, that's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for watching, everybody.